Right along here, please. Now, before we begin, Professor Dumbledore would like to say a few words.
I have a few start-of-term notices I wish to announce.
Fucking Harry Potter, you've heard of this. I don't need to explain what Harry Potter is. It ain't 2001 anymore. Boy wizard, magic boarding school, aerial wizard badminton, coming-of-age story about a boy and his involvement in a saga of the forces of good and evil. Come on, you guys, it's Leviosa. It's great. Everyone loves it. I love it. Books is good. Movies is good. They made a bunch of money. End the story. But like all good things that come out of Hollywood, nobody knows when to pump the brakes on the train, especially not the Harry Potter money train. JK was unstoppable. She's a talented lady who made so much goddamn money. She even gave a bunch of it away. And somehow none of it to me. So when the Harry Potter movies finished up, WB approached JK Rowling with the offer to make a bunch more money to not give to me. Then they watched her dig through her writing room trash can through clumps of used tissues and original better concepts for the Deathly Hallows epilogue to produce Fantastic Beasts. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is a 2016 fantasy adventure movie that continues the story of the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Because we can't leave good things alone. I don't think any Harry Potter fan was really excited about this movie. It's a prequel that takes place before the main action of the story and features none of the beloved settings, characters, or stories that we know. That's never gone wrong. I'm talking a lot of shit up front, but to be honest, I ended up enjoying the movie. It's got problems, sure. It's not an outright bad movie. It's got a lot of charm. It expands the world in a few interesting ways. And at the end of the day, I liked some of the new characters. They were fun. I'll see what kind of wacky wizard hijinks they get into next. There was a lot of stuff setting up a sequel, which was an idea I was into. At least I thought I did. I was gonna make a video about Nadia and the Secret of Blue Water, an anime series I watched recently and enjoyed most of. But then I saw this stupid movie came out and all my intense burning passion for The Boy Who Lived got me all fucked up and I wrote this instead. That, and it's probably better to make videos about things people know about, and not weird things I find after diving into the niche corners of horror films.
Do you believe this thing, man?
Today we're not talking about Crimes of Grindelwald, because I tried writing a script for that, and it was literally like a college thesis on bad screenwriting, and I don't want to edit that.
Bitch, are you for real?
So we're going to talk about this first Fantastic Beasts movie. Problems in this movie kind of spill over into that movie, so it's important that we start here. We're talking about three things: setting, structure, and tone. Alright, Accio recap. Little background for those of you who didn't see this movie. The series centers on Newt Scamander, who JK forgot she already wrote a whole book on, and it had a little nice blurb in it that said that he lives happily ever after with his wife Tina. You just robbed your story of any kind of dramatic tension. Great starting point, Jakes. Newt comes to America looking to release some kind of buckbeak looking motherfucker in Arizona. Newt loses a bunch of magical creatures and teams up with Tina Goldstein, Wizard PD,
Police officer.
her kooky sister Queenie, and a muggle dude named Jacob, who's the best. They go around collecting them. There's a bunch of them. They got different names. I don't know any of them.
Which one of you fucking weirdos is Diglett?
Meanwhile, Percival Graves tries to get this dude Credence Barebone, which is a wicked porn name if I may add. Anyways, he wants him to lead him to this magical ball of dark energy known as the Obscurus so that he can start a war between the wizards and the normies. Turns out Credence is the Obscurus the whole time, and Percival Graves was secretly...
Well, well, if it isn't our old friend Bluestone the Great, an ex-magician that's wanted in 6
No,
states.
he was just gross, pasty Johnny Depp Grindelwald the whole time. Okay, you get it, roll credits. To even get started talking about why Fantastic Beasts fail, we have to get into why these Potter movies work. And a big part of it is the writing. See, in a movie like Harry Potter, where the world's made of like weirdos in hats and turbans and rules about magic and fucking slug barfing, you need to start with some explanations about the world. This is easy in a book where you can just like type out all the things that are happening so the viewer understands what's going on. JK does a bunch of this in the books, has Hermione whip out some Hogwarts of history by Bathilda Bagshot knowledge and bam, now you know what's happening. And people love that, but when you're talking about something that applies to a visual media, things need to change. A common way to do this is center your story on some kind of outcast or weirdo that you drag out of a staircase cupboard. This is called fish out of water. Remember, it's gonna be on your owls. So when your character understands or learns something, you do too. The Potter movies are good about this. They usually give you, aka Harry, enough, but not an overwhelming amount of knowledge each movie, and that informs the world. And the world is big. There's a lot of magic shit to remember. But that's okay because it's given to you in digestive-sized bites. So when people describe the Harry Potter series, the one word they'll use over and over again is magic. Yes, because the world is inhabited by wizards and therefore is by definition magical. Smartass. But what they're saying is that there's something very appealing and alluring about the universe that the characters live in. You want to go to Platform 9 3/4. You want to take a train to Hogwarts. You want to go to the Great Hall and get sorted. You want to go to a Quidditch game. You want to go to Wizard Prom and make all sorts of terrible mistakes. Come on, you don't think those kids fucked the Yule Ball? Read between the lines, people. You want to be a part of this world because it's exciting and fun and full of magic, mystery, and danger. Guess what world sucks? These Fantastic Beasts movies. It's like JK forgot how to build compelling worlds, like someone obliviated her, if you know what I'm saying. The movie just kind of throws you into magical America, which should be kind of similar to magical Britain, except maybe more racism and better teeth. But magical Britain was complex and had all these crazy rules and stuff that were set up over the course of the movies. As a viewer, I don't have any idea what's going on over here in Magic America. I don't think JK did either.
Is it okay for me to wear my shoes in here?
I don't give a shit.
It's like her ultimate goal was to just copy pasta what she did over in Magic Britain, but like, poorly. It's like when you're trying to write an email and you just paste something that you already wrote, but it's in like all italics and the formatting looks like hot garbage, but you hit send anyway because you don't want to do any actual work. I gotta get back to writing this cursed child. I want to put a new pool in next to the first one. Newt is new to America, so you'd think he'd be our new Harry character and we'd learn about Magic New York through his little baby doe eyes. He's already versed in the ways of magic from Magic Britain, as the audience is. But he doesn't know anything about Magic United States, making him the ideal candidate for some fish out of water stuff. But no, he seems to have a pretty firm grasp on the world and makes some SJW comments about equal marriage in the fucking 1920s.
I know that you have rather backwards laws about relations with non-magic people.
But that's it. So you'd think they give the fish out of water stuff to Jacob, like the dude who's new to all this? Which they kind of do, but he's so impressed by everything they don't really have time to tell him what's going on in Magic United States. The movie's only real way of telling you what the hell is happening in this world is the opening sequence where they just fly through like Daily Prophet headlines, which is boring, lazy, and inconsistent. It works in a movie like Order of the Phoenix because you gotta show the passage of time, and that book's like a billion pages of emo Harry screaming at people anyway, so you can condense a little bit here and there. Like half these headlines don't mean anything and are just different variations of Wizard Hitler is bad, which you could kind of get from this opening shot where he fucking dusts all these people. Long story short, I want to live in Hogwarts and hang out with the John Cleese ghosts. I don't want to live in Magic America where everyone's a joyless robot and everything looks like it's shot in a cave. So moving on, in screenwriting you have what you call A stories and B stories, and to some extent C stories. Your A story should follow your main protagonist character as he accomplishes their goal and completes their arc. They usually overcome the antagonist and change the world for the better. Like every movie has an A story. It's what the movie's about. Then you have your B story. This usually doesn't include the main players of the A story, but sometimes supporting characters trying to accomplish another goal. This usually ties into the climax of the movie. A movie can have a lot of B or C plots depending on their importance to the overall plot of the movie as a whole. Prisoner of Azkaban is a good example of story structure. In your A plot, Harry's afraid to go to wizard school because he blew up the nice lady from Children of Men. And that some deranged lunatic played by Gary Oldman in a wig is at a wizard Gitmo and has some kind of beef with him. Then you got a few B stories. Hagrid's got a new hippogriff, Buckbeak, but then he kicks the shit out of Malfoy, so they call magical animal control on his ass and they try to fucking ice Buckbeak. Then you have this other story where Harry learns about Patronuses and his dad from the spooky werewolf man. And then this other one where J.K. Rowling gave a 13-year-old girl the power to manipulate multiple realities and time itself, and then hoped and prayed that you forgot all about it. All these plots wrap up and play into the conclusion of the story, like they were building to that point all along, like it was on purpose and not an accident. This is all pretty simple script stuff. Like I don't have a doctorate in screenwriting or anything, but even I know this. Took me like 30 seconds to explain it to you. But when J.K. Rowling writes you a screenplay for a multi-million-dollar movie that comes from a billion-dollar franchise, nobody wants to tell her that her story structure is like a fucking devil snare of bad ideas. They just say, relax, don't struggle, let the snare take you. So we got our main dude, Nudie Scamoody, and he's got a pest extermination problem. He's gotta catch all 151 Pokemans before his mom gets home, or else he gets grounded. I'm gonna call this story A. It's a movie called Fantastic Beasts. The movie's probably about the beasts. It's not fucking organic chemistry, I can figure this out. So I'll call the story with Sweeney Todd and the Addams Family the B story. It doesn't really have any main characters or clear-cut antagonists in it for the majority of the movie. It doesn't really interact with story A in a meaningful way, so this is my B story. But just kidding, JK fucking spins the tables on you, and guess what? All this whiny bullshit with all the mopey kids and their abusive mother is story A. Joke's on you, I made a whole movie where nothing of real consequence happens till the very ending. My protagonist isn't actively involved in any of this until he trips over it more than halfway through the movie. Turns out JK just wanted to make a movie about Grindelwald trying to start a wizard war, and not about Ash Ketchum at all. This Fantastic Beasts title is misleading. Call it Abused Kids and Where to Exploit Them. I don't even know how the Beasts plot really ties into the finale of the movie. I guess he uses the little sticky hand lizard to stop Grindelwald, but that's it. These plot lines don't mesh, and that's a big problem with this movie. It's like JK was making a puzzle. Instead of the pieces being complementary to each other, she just fucking awkwardly slaps the two puzzle pieces together with rubber cement, but they don't fit at all. And now she made a mess all over the dining room table. And this applies to the tone of the movie too. Back to Potter real quick. The crucial plot of the overall series is about good versus evil. Good magic versus evil magic. Magic could be good and fun. It can repair houses, summon a bunch of bomb-ass food, turn your fat rat yellow if you know what I mean. It can also be super fucked up. Suck your life energy away, split your soul, fucking bust a cap in some innocent bystander's ass.
What a way to kill someone.
They're magicians, Your Honor.
This is the dichotomy of the Harry Potter magic formula. For every brutal Dementor attack, there's a magical rider on the lake on a hippogriff. For every flesh sacrifice blood ritual to resurrect the Dark Lord, there's a fun tournament for wizards. For every miserable old bitch trying to make you and your friends cut yourselves, there's a little first base action in the Room of Requirement. Come on, Harry, she's a widower. I know you're young, but have some tact, man. He's right there. But for Fantastic Beasts, it keeps these plot lines separated instead of well intermingled. So you have one plot line where it's all fun and games and horny rhinos trying to have sex with Kowalski, and then one plot line where it's all dark and dour and no fun, and no horny rhinos wanting to have sex with Kowalski. And when the two collide at the end, it feels jarring, because the tones never feel like they ever meshed. And instead of trying to go back and maintain a tonal balance in the series, the Grindelwald movie just doubles down on all the boring and dismal aspects of the world. And guess what? The movie is boring and dismal because of it. Who would have fucking guessed it? I want to go to the Weasley's joke shop. Good stuff happened to the main characters there. I had fun there. Know where I didn't have fun? The subway station. The newspaper office run by this guy and his senator father.
I'm a senator.
A house where they beat the shit out of kids. This over here? This is fun. This over here? This makes me want to call CPS.
Police officer!
In my fun fantasy movie designed for children and families, I should be having more of this and less of this. That's what my therapist says anyway. So shortly before I made this video, WB announced that the Dune reboot was going to be replacing Fantastic Beasts in their movie lineup. This means WB isn't so sure about J.K. Rowling anymore. Critics didn't like Grindelwald, neither did audiences. J.K. has taken some admittedly deserved criticism for her poor storytelling choices in the expanded Wizarding World universe. I mean, I was all good with the Dumbledore being gay thing. It makes sense. It doesn't alter the story too much. It kind of informs a little bit more of the character. This is a good addition. All this shit makes me want to take a dive off the astronomy tower. Now it's just she opens her mouth and out comes this outpouring of either long-winded boring shit that nobody cares about.
History's so boring!
Or just baffling revelations that make no sense in the context of her own established story. What is this? JK better get her act together and wrap up this Fantastic Beasts trilogy into satisfying... What do you mean there's 5? 5 is in 5 movies? 5 movies? JK, what the f***?